I'm Grandmaster Herrig from Thalgaroon. 300 years old, 4 feet tall, long white beard, and tattoos that cover most of me back, arms and legs. Born as the 5th son to a merchant family, I left for the monastery at the wee age of 7 to be trained by the monks of the Stone Feast. I studied there for over 200 years, learning how to bend the magic key in order to move faster, hit harder, and imbuing me very strikes with magic. After 150 years of training, I was granted the title of Grand Master and placed in the charge of training the next generation of monks. This went well until 2 young strays named Theron and Lilith came to our doors looking for refuge. Granting them their request, I opened our doors and allowed them to stay, given that they completed their menial tasks. Things were quiet for a number of years until I mistook young Lilith for an initiate of our order and gave her the beginning tattoos that grant her longer life and some of the magics that she can use. Once the other monks found out, Lilith and I were both imprisoned, awaiting our punishment. However, while I was meditating over my mistakes, young Lilith managed to escape and I was exiled, charged with tracking them down and making sure they didn't cause any trouble with the magics that they had been granted. It took me a month to find them, and I tried my hardest to return them to the monastery. Amazingly, they refused, and now I'm trapped, traipsing around with these miscreants, keeping them out of trouble as best I can.
I'm Theron. I'm a 50-year-old half-elf barbarian-raised sorcerer. I was born in Skeldar, in the town of Gorn. My character is 6'1", about 200 pounds, with dirty blonde hair and brown eyes. I was raised by barbarians until the age of 15 with Lilith, who lived next to me. While growing up, we liked to terrorize the livestock and occasionally the children. After killing my mother and my father and my brother Winston on accident, Lilith and I fled Gorn. After a few years of traveling and living off the land, we ended up in Galley. During the day, I was a dock worker and befriended the sailors. By night, we had started the thieves' guild known as the Faceless Ones. After a year of plaguing Galley, we staged our own deaths and pretended to save the town. We went in search of new places, eventually stumbling upon the monastery, where we met Herrig. We lived there for 4 years. I studied the arcane arts in their library, while Lilith was their errand girl. When she was given tattoos on accident by Herrig, I broke her out of prison and we fled the monastery. Herrig eventually joined up with us and said he would happily follow us for the rest of his life. The 3 of us spent some time roaming and finally reached Galley, where we were sent off to Nis.
My name is Lilith. I'm a 24-year-old human fighter. I stand at 5'6" and have mid-length brown hair, normally thrown into a ponytail. I have magic tattoos on my back and normal tattoos running down my arms. I was the only child of a barbarian family in the small village of Gorn. I lived my childhood training for battle and creating mischief with my best friend Theron, or Ren as I call him. At 14 years old, I witnessed Ren accidentally kill his family when his magic manifested. We immediately left the village, knowing he would be put to death or taken away. We traveled the countryside for years and ended up in the city of Galley. A tavern wench took sympathy on us and took Ren and I into her home. I got a job in the tavern, and we lived a relatively peaceful life. However, Ren and I had a dark secret. We had created a thieves' guild called the Faceless Ones. After a year, Ren and I staged the Faceless One's death and left the city. We later stumbled upon a monastery in the west, where Ren found a place to learn his magic. I got the lovely job of running around doing odd jobs. After 4 years of living in boredom, I snuck into an initiate ceremony in a disguise and tricked Herrig, the Grand Master, into giving me magic tattoos that slowed my aging to 1/5 of a normal human, as well as giving me some magical abilities. Immediately, I was arrested, and Ren had to come and save me. I was instantly imprisoned for the crime, and Ren broke me out. Herrig found us a month later, and now follows us wherever we go. I guess he has to make sure I don't mess around with the tattoos. After traveling, we're now in Galley, and now we're heading to Nis.
At any given moment, somewhere in America, a baby is taking a first step, a developmental milestone. But for too many parents, a baby's first steps aren't just a milestone, they're a miracle. These are the parents of babies who were born prematurely or with birth defects. It's a crisis affecting more than 500,000 babies in the United States each year. You can help them by joining volunteers like you who walk in March for Babies. The money you raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Together, our steps make stronger, healthier babies a reality for thousands of families. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org to take the steps that help make milestones and even miracles possible. Who will you march for?
This is the city where danger lurks. Today, a new creature walks among us, causing fear, mayhem, and injury.
Stay back, children.
Mommy, I'm scared.
Look out for the dreaded digital deadwalkers. They're not looking out for you. With faces pressed against their little handheld devices, they put all good citizens in harm's way.
Hey, pal. Pardon you.
The digital deadwalkers are multiplying. Until their behavior patterns can be modified, the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons warns all innocent people to stay alert. Better yet, to step up and speak out.
Oh, hey, dude. I'm walking here.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you.
A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected with healthy bones.
We got adopted. Over the years, I came to know the full story of what really happened, and she had us when she was 17. I know that she wanted us to have a better life. The way she saw things going, it wasn't a good environment to raise a kid. The fact that she did that just shows how strong of a woman my mother is. To just be given a chance to be who she wanted us to be, that means a lot to me. And I thank her each and every day for it. I wouldn't be the person who I am today, and I like the person I am today. I've learned that love is what makes people who they are. I've learned that love helps you make the hard decisions. Without love, you can't know nurturing, and without nurturing, you can't grow. I knew I was loved, and I was part of a family, so that was what's important to me.
For more information, visit ichooseadoption.org.
I'm Christoph. And I'm Christopher. And our mom chose adoption.
More than 12 million people in the U.S. are currently diagnosed with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, and another 12 million may have the disease and not know it. I'm Marjorie McGinn, president of Women in Government Foundation. COPD is the third leading cause of death. It kills more than 120,000 Americans each year. That's one death every 4 minutes. Women in Government urges you to talk with your healthcare provider if you experience any of these symptoms of COPD. Shortness of breath, chronic cough, wheezing, and tightness in the chest. There is no cure for COPD, which causes the airways and sac in the lung to become swollen and thicker. Though the lung damage is irreversible, treatment can improve quality of life, prevent symptoms, reduce shortness of breath, and allow sufferers a more active life. Take the Drive for COPD 5-question screening at womeningovernment.org/COPD.
Hi, my name's Logan Gardner, and I play the character of Herrig in Party of 3. Right now, I'm going to give a quick introduction to Dungeons & Dragons. Now, we are playing a very free-form version of the game, which means in order to speed it up so you don't have to sit with a lot of silence as we count dice and do some basic math that surprisingly none of us are good at, even though we're in college, we try to keep it moving and have very much simplified things. But as far as things go, Dungeons & Dragons is a very simple game. As much as it looks complicated, it's really not. We each have a character that is full of stats, which are determined by rolling 3 6-sided dice and adding them together to determine our strength, constitution, dexterity, charisma, intelligence, and wisdom. And all of these stats, basically, we flesh out with our own ideas and abilities from a class, mine being monk, as well as sorcerers or wizards or whatever you want, to make a character. And that's just the bare bones. Most of the fun comes from putting your own personality into it. Now, we throw a lot of terminology out like D6 or D20. What this means is it's just dice of X number of sides, being the number. So if we say a D20, it's a 20-sided dice, or a D8 is an 8-sided dice. Really simple. Now, the most in-depth thing that we do is probably combat. where what normally happens is we roll a 20-sided dice, and we add either our strength or dexterity modifier, depending on your class. And we try to beat an opposing roll by whatever we're attacking. If we get higher, we successfully attack. If we don't get higher, we don't successfully attack. And then we roll for damage, how much damage we deal. That's where the D6s or D8s or D12s come in. It's pretty simple, and we try to keep it moving as fast as possible. That helps when you aren't making 12 dice of attacks, because math is hard. Other than that, the game is pretty much just you play a character, and the closest thing you can explain it to is improv acting. It's a very simple thing, and involves thinking on your feet. Very, very simple, and once you start playing it, it's really fun, and you can really get into it and create a lot of interesting characters. Now, granted, we all have to do the occasional things like know things in the game, or to climb a building, and these can all be determined by various skills that your character has, like an acrobatics check to scale a building very well or climb a cliff. Or if we're reading a magical tome of knowledge, we can check our affinity with magic or our knowledge of magic to know exactly what it says and understand it. Then there are plenty of other things you can do, like knowledge and most physical activities. That basically wraps it up. The only other thing is magic, but that's too hard of a thing to explain right now. Basically, you cast a spell, something happens. Maybe things blow up, maybe not. Other than that, that's your rundown into how we play Dungeons & Dragons. Hopefully you have as much fun listening to us as we have playing. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Party of Three. This is WARC 90.3 FM in Meadville. We just left off with Kittlesworth being slain, unmistakably by Lilith, but as she tried to get some wolves off of him. And now you've fled the three wolves as they feast upon Kittlesworth's body. You've made it down to a small clearing that you were there before, and you camped there for the night. And the sun has risen, and you all find yourselves very cold.
Well, that took a turn for the worse. Almost immediately.
I really hate this mountain.
I hate this island. The whole thing.
I hate this.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, we have clearly learned that the wolves are a lot stronger than we are.
Yeah.
And the breathers have a reason to fear them.
I wonder if the wolves can even kill breathers.
They can do enough.
We lost a good guy.
We lost the one who saved our lives more often than we'd like to admit.
And a really good cook.
Aye.
Yeah.
Well, no use mourning forever. We've got a job to do.
Do now.
Well, we don't climb the mountain again, that's for sure. To the west.
So, wolves are breathers.
Well, we've beaten breathers before.
Yeah.
We have failed incredibly against the wolves.
Okay. I guess it's to the west.
Alright. Well, then I guess it's time that we head out for today. Anyone else need to pack things up or cry a little bit before we get going?
I don't need to cry. I just need some time.
Alright.
I don't cry. I yell.
I've got time when we walk.
Was that you instructing your character to yell?
Ah! No. It's a statement of I don't cry, but instead I yell.
Alright, then let's tuck it in and get going.
Yep.
The faster we move, the better we'll warm up.
Faster we'll get off this island.
Or die trying.
Yeah, that too.
Down the mountain. Let's go.
Okay, you guys make it down the mountain. You don't need to make any climb checks because you're going down instead of up. And you make it to the base of the mountain, back into the forest. And you've actually made it... you went west, you said, yes?
That's right. We're heading to the west.
Okay, so you make it down a mountain passage, and you are across the mountains now. So you're down in the forest at the base of the mountains, and you're on the west side of Nis. It's still very foresty.
Well, I don't hear any wolves, which is an improvement.
I don't hear any breathers, which is also good.
Do we ever really hear any breathers?
They make that noise.
When they're on top of you. I hear a stream.
There is a stream nearby.
That's something we can cheer ourselves up with.
No, it's black and gross looking.
Aye, but it tastes delicious when filtered through, and who knows what'll happen if I put mushrooms in the brew this time.
I forgot, we have sloth's breath.
Yeah.
Why didn't we use that on the wolves?
Because it's a neurotoxin.
And it probably would have affected the wolves.
Because
oh god, we're so stupid.
Are idiots.
Aye, we are not good at this.
Here you go, travelers. Here's some stuff to help you along the way. By the way, don't use it when you find the wolves. I'm sure that'll help.
I actually sort of forgot we had that.
Well, don't forget next time, because it's all in your pack.
Also, I killed a man because we didn't use it.
Aye. Well,
proud of you.
We are clearly the right people for this job.
I guess I'm going to fill up my empty water skin with this black water.
Okay, good idea. You all seem to be running pretty low on water. After all, it's been about like 2 days, and carrying that much water that's heavy.
Aye.
Okay,
I fill up my pack of my water skin with water for now, soon to be run through a brewing kit when we stop.
Just to
collect water.
Just to clarify, it is still the pitch black water.
Aye.
It seems to be a common theme.
As long as I don't look at it, I won't know. Hopefully.
Okay. You fill up all your tanks.
All
You're
right.
good to go.
Well, let's continue. Also, while we're here in the forest, I'm going to pull out my hand axes and cut some smaller branches off from trees and put them in my pack, so we have a supply of wood next time we need a fire.
Have we healed?
You heal during the night when you sleep, equal to your constitution modifier plus how many hours you healed. Or times how many hours you healed. Or rested. So, I'm assuming 4 hours?
No, it's more like 6 hours.
Alright, so whatever your constitution modifier is, times 6.
So they're healing their HP now. Each character in this game starts with 100 HP.
Oh god, we do.
So
It's running on 48.
So they took a lot of damage in the last combat sequence.
Yeah, you got the light end of the deal.
I thought we started as our natural. I was running off of 48.
I'm still going off 100 and I only had 12 left. So
Yeah.
that was quite a battle.
Yeah, having a wolf on your neck is not a fun situation.
Magic wolf.
Yeah.
So you guys are continuing west along the stream, yes?
Aye.
Okay, and sure enough, you start to hear the faint sounds of breathers.
Alright, time to try out the mushrooms and see what they actually do.
I'm going to grab one of the mushrooms
Okay,
and I'll hand it to Herrick.
okay. So you're preparing your mushrooms. The breathers don't seem to notice you. You're not sure exactly where the sound's coming from. Seems to be all over.
I handed one also to Ren. And I'll grab one for myself as well.
Thanks, Lith.
No problem.
And then without warning, a whole swarm of breathers from all around you come flying in. There's about 12 of them, and they're all coming all at the same time.
Alright, pick a direction and throw.
I crush, I throw.
Okay.
I do the same thing, but in a different direction.
Okay. And Lilith?
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold off on this.
Okay. And the mushrooms that you throw pass... they hit off of the breathers.
But we crushed them first, so
Yes,
they're particles of mushrooms.
Oh, so you crush them, and it lets out like some dust and smoke. But the mushroom form is still there. So it bounces off of 2 of the breathers, and the breathers next to those ones seem to be pretty affected, and the one that it hit. And they slow down their assault, and they kind of like slow to a stop and just kind of just kind of float there. But the rest of them come in at you.
All right. How many are there now?
There's 6 of them.
All right.
Throw yours.
Yep, I'm gonna crush it and throw it.
Okay, you crush it, and a plume escapes it as you crush it, and you throw it at the other breathers on the other side, and you stop 3 of them. And there's 3 of them, 3 more coming for you from the other side. So the 2 who threw theirs first threw them upwards and downwards, and then Lilith threw hers to the left, and so there's still breathers coming from the right. And you all start to feel very sleepy.
We should move.
Yep.
I'm gonna get out of the circle of breathers.
I'm going
follow.
to tie one of my hand wraps around my mouth and nose, kind of as a makeshift mask.
Okay, are you moving left or up or down? Presumably not right from where the breathers are coming from.
I'm gonna run through wherever I threw my mushroom and just keep going.
Okay, so that would be upwards.
All right.
Yep.
Are you all going upwards?
Yep.
I'll follow him.
Okay. You all go upwards, and just in the nick of time as the breathers pass through the plume of smoke that you were just standing on, and they slow their assault and come to a stop. And they kind of wander around a little bit, and then they just kind of drift back out into the trees.
Well, that worked.
Did we just pass through our own mushroom cloud?
I put on a mask.
You're still feeling pretty sleepy, and you're kind of slow to react. The world seems to like spin a little bit.
Okay, so we know one thing's for sure.
They work.
And we need to stay away from them when we use them.
Aye.
Yeah, and probably running through them was not a good idea.
Well, it was either a little bit of neurotoxin or the breathers.
So you threw 3 of them, and you still have 22 left.
All right.
Well then, do we keep moving to the west?
The west sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, I say let's do it. Better than that than the wolves.
No more wolves, please. No more wolves.
Yeah.
Okay, you keep moving towards the west. You definitely don't hear any wolf howls anymore. And as you're moving, not much happens for a little while. And you're just kind of jogging along. Not jogging, hopefully. Just walking through the trees, and there's crows above. And it's about midday when you come across what looks like a very large clearing off in the distance. And around that clearing, you hear just a mass sound of breathers. Just more than you've ever heard before.
I think we found them.
Okay, so
that would be the right assumption.
What do we do?
We hide and see what they do.
The Gillen said that hiding underground seemed to deter them.
But how are we going to watch them if we're underground?
What if we get up in the trees?
The trees might work.
Do they fly up? I don't
They
think
haven't
I've seen
yet.
them fly up.
I haven't seen it
One
yet.
levitated through the water when we were in Galley, but that's about it.
The tree sounds fine to me then.
Well, we can either learn what works or cross another thing off our list and leg it. We're going to climb a tree near the clearing and examine and see if we can kind of just watch the breathers for now.
Okay. You managed to find a clearing. Did you want to climb up into the trees? Was that...
Yeah.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you climb up into the trees, and go ahead and make a climb check for me.
22.
18.
A nat 20.
Oh, wow. You guys are adept at climbing.
Yeah.
Most likely you got a little bit of practice from climbing the mountain.
Yeah.
So you all like somersault up into the tree like friggin' pros. And you manage to make it to the top branch, and you look around and you see the clearing. It's about half a mile wide in radius, so it's very large. And inside of it is nothing but just a mass of breathers. Almost like, I want to make the analogy Pymatuning, but that's kind of a localized reference. Pymatuning is a small area where fish get stuck, and it's said that the duck can walk on them, and that's what you see here. It's just breathers, tons of them. You could almost walk on them. They're just packed close together, no elbow room.
To keep us hidden, I'm going to cast invisibility twice, once targeting her and once targeting Gramps and myself.
Sure. And you do so successfully.
Well, let's see what we can learn about our guests.
And don't jump down. We'll never find each other.
You hear 3 wolves howl from the mountains, from the direction of the mountains.
No.
And it seems impossibly distant. The mountains are very far away. And as you hear this, you see in front of you a light coming from the sky. A very bright light.
Well,
what is that?
Nothing good.
Is it just descending, or is it moving in some sort of pattern?
Can't really see much movement coming from it. It's up there for awfully long.
Maybe that's what's controlling him?
I dare someone to go poke it.
I'm not going up there.
Slowly you start to see it actually descending down, almost like a meteor. And it comes all the way down and then strikes right in the middle of the half-mile clearing. And it doesn't make an impact.
I think we found their god.
That's weird.
Is it just floating there as a ball of light, or is it...
Oh no, it goes through the ground.
Alright then.
But there's no explosion or impact.
I am really not a fan of the things happening on this island.
Has anything else happened? Are the breathers moving?
Are they partying? Are they running in fear?
It's a sweet rave party.
Well, they are moving, but they're not moving in any specific direction. It's just an amalgamation of breathers, just,
they're
mixing
meandering
in together. And can you roll perception for me? All of you.
I see nothing.
I also see nothing.
17.
17.
Yeah.
17 is good enough to notice that from that bright light, you can see what looks like a very large breather. Not terribly large, about 6'11". The other ones are about regular size.
Hey guys, there's a larger breather in the center.
How in the bloody world did I miss that one?
Maybe it's an orc.
I just realized a terrible thought. Kittlesworth is gonna be on this island, isn't he?
Oh, is it the Kittle breather?
I don't know.
Well, let's just continue watching them for now. Maybe it'll be their leader.
I don't know about that orb though. Just went through the ground.
Do you think there's something under the ground?
That's a distinct possibility.
I could probably dig under the ground.
You hear the 3 wolves howling again from the mountain. It seems impossibly distant.
Alright, these wolves need to stop.
Glowing ball in the sky.
Okay, the wolves are the god of the breathers. This is not good.
Yeah, since we got our butts handed to us last time we, even found the wolves.
Maybe if we're lucky we'll find a druid and we can talk to them.
The glowing orb descends once again down through the earth without making any impact.
Oh, we should definitely probably go check out what that is.
Hopefully when the breathers disperse.
I don't know if they will.
Yeah, this looks like a common thing.
Well, how do we want to handle this? Theron, how long does your spell last?
1 hour.
Alright. Let's try to meander through the breathers to the light.
Should we
Which
tie
light are you
ourselves?
talking about?
where the light that descends from the almighty sky and howling wolves falls to earth.
Well, we've got a bit of a problem. If we try and go through without some sort of connection to all three of us, we're going to lose each other. If we try and connect ourselves by some means, other than holding hands, we'll be visible because we'll be a floating rope or whatever we find.
You hear the wolves howl again, and another orb descends down through the ground. No impact.
All right, I have an idea. I hop out of the tree and pull out my axe and carve a symbol into the tree that we were just in. In 2 hours, if we get separated, come back and find this tree, and we'll meet each other, well, visible.
Okay.
Okay. Let's hope nothing goes wrong.
That is the hope. All right.
Also,
I'll hold hands, children.
Let's
go meander through the scary shadow figures.
Don't cast any spells or make any attacks.
Hey.
All right. I'm gonna grab Ren's hand. Or I'm gonna attempt to, obviously.
I obviously let you hold my hand.
Okay.
Aw. Childhood friends.
Yay.
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 Hey, Gramps, join our train.
Ugh.
You can lead us, Gramps.
All right, then. I reach out and grab Theron's hand, or Lilith's hand, whoever I find first.
The sweetest, sickly voice I can possibly muster up. Come on, Gramps. Let's go.
Maybe I want to lose you too.
I mean, we gotta have a little bit of fun, especially if this is our last day.
Fair enough. And we start heading towards the light, trying to avoid as many breathers as possible.
Everyone should probably grab a mushroom, just in case.
Oh yeah, I'll hand them out real quick.
Thank you.
How many do you hand out?
Actually, I'm gonna give 3 apiece.
Okay, keep track of those.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to. Or I'll forget and say like, oh, you have 2 mushrooms left. Like, but we already threw 5. Okay.
We've all learned we can't math.
That is very true.
Okay, you weave in and out of the breathers. There's not a lot of room to give to get through there. And you go in and out and in and out, and they're all kind of moving a little bit. So I want you guys to make checks to see if you bump into the breathers. It's gonna be 5 checks apiece.
Acrobatics? Or just dexterity?
Dexterity, yeah.
Wait, should we just roll 5 times?
Yeah, 5 checks. If you get anything that is below a 10.
Oh, already got it.
Yep, that already happened.
Okay, well, you're weaving through in and out of the
I
breathers.
made it fine.
Well, congratulations.
You bump into a couple of them, and they let out this awful groan. Like, just this terrible, like, just crackly groan as they turn around in the direction that they were bumped. But they don't see you, and they don't notice your presence.
Okay.
Alright, well, I assume we eventually get to the...
You get closer and closer, and you hear the 3 wolves howl again.
Alright.
In the distance. Glowing ball is apparent from the sky, and you, at that point, you make it close to where you think the center is. And the ball descends down through the earth, no impact, but it landed what looks to be about 1/10 of a mile to the east of you.
To the east.
So you tried to go. You tried to go to the center, but it appears that you went a little too far west.
All right. Well, we're getting closer.
How long has it been?
It's been about 30 minutes.
God.
All right, we got
Let's
time.
get rolling.
We continue to make our way towards the 1/10 of a mile to the east.
Okay, go ahead and make like 2 more rolls.
Already.
That's right.
No.
I'm good.
Yep.
Nope. No.
No.
Okay, you bump into another breather and it lets out this awful moan, and it turns towards your direction, and it stares and looks, but it doesn't see anything.
Stop
You're still
touching
safe.
them.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We gotta keep moving. We're running out of time.
The wolves howl again, And the same thing happens. A ball appears in the sky. It descends down in a great shaft of light, almost like a meteor hitting the earth. But as it goes to the ground, it passes through. And
closer?
You see it happen exactly in front of you. And what happens is, after the ball passes down through the earth, the light is blinding, and it totally destroys your sense of vision, not permanently, but temporarily, almost like a flashbang. And when you come to again, and you can see, there's a breather that you didn't see before floating there.